we celebrate Earth Day month. Earth Day was actually last week, but for us, we believe in Earth Day every day and being more conscious of our environment. And that's the reason why, together with Aurelia Residences, we wanted to invite all of you today to this small celebration. May I ask everyone to mute their mics for the meantime? And then later on, there will be lots of opportunities to ask questions from all our speakers. So thank you so much for being with us. We thought that, really during this pandemic, I think a new focus has come out to the importance of preserving our planet, the earth, and our environment and caring for it. And I think many of us, like they say, have become plantitas and plantitos. So I can vouch for myself that during the pandemic, I've really discovered the amazing nurturing benefits of caring for the garden. And that was the inspiration for us, together with Aurelia Residences, to put this afternoon together. And it's a conversation on plants and a passion for plants. And we will have two very special guest speakers who will come on a little bit later. There's Joy Wong of W Botanica and Jamie Blondal of Catch Lifestyle and Garden. They're two very passionate plant ladies, and you'll hear more from them later. But before we get into the topic of today, I'd like to invite all of you virtually into our host venue, Aurelia Residences. So please focus on the screen and visualize that you're surrounded with this amazing lush landscape and views of a golf course. And we'll play the video, please, and take you into the property. There you have it. That was a virtual view of our host venue for today, Aurelia Residences. We would have loved, of course, to host you physically at the beautiful show suite that they have built in BGC. But since that's not possible for now, we're going to do all of this virtually. By the way, I just want to say thank you to everyone I see on the screen. It's like a virtual garden party. I love seeing all the backgrounds and the effort everyone made to wear green and to dress in theme. I hope you're also enjoying the nibbles we sent you, especially the matcha green tea chocolate mignons, which were customized by the bakehouse at Shang at the Fort, especially for you today. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Director of Sales of Aurelia Residences, Nicole Amponin, to please tell us a bit more about Aurelia. Hi, Nicole.
Hey, hi, Mia. Hello. So we're all wearing green. So nice.
Everyone got the memo.
Yeah. So thank you for everyone, and thanks, Mia, for inviting us to host this Earth Day celebration with you. So happily we could gather here virtually. So I hope it would be fun for everyone, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I see that everyone's like dressed in theme, so already the mood is there, and we have some very exciting and inspiring talks coming up. But before that, Nicole, I think there might be a question. We've seen in the video how amazing the views and the landscape of Aurelia is. Could you tell us a bit more about the location and what makes Aurelia like a sanctuary in the city, which is, I think, something everyone seeks now, especially in time of, quarantine?
Yeah, so Aurelia is, of course, in the middle of a bustling city. So it's in Bonifacio Global City. But even if we're in the middle of a busy city, we designed Aurelia to be more than just a condo. So our architects, interior designers created Aurelia to mimic the feel of an elegant Filipino home with lots of spaces. And of course, we're very crazy on lush greens, gardens, and landscaping. So in Aurelia, we really aim to have that seamless integration between the indoor and the natural environment. And we have a lot of natural lighting, so that's good for our indoor plants, right, Mia?
Of course. And of course, we'll hear more about those plant tips later. So thank you so much, Nicole. Does anyone in our audience have questions perhaps to ask about Aurelia? Please feel free to unmute or raise your hand. And before we go into the talk, you're welcome to ask any questions.
Yeah.
Someone's raising Miss Marit. Yeah.
Yes, I have two questions. I see your building, is it 100% sustainable green?
Yes, we're actually a green building. So we comply with all of the green building code. So, yeah.
What would that include, Nicole?
Yeah.
For example, do you have like solar power, or are there some features that would be interesting to learn about, or can you not disclose that yet? I know the building's just beginning to go up, right?
Yeah, yes. So I can actually meet you and explain all of the the ones with following regarding the green building code. So yeah, you'll feel free to go here in the show plaque and we can discuss that.
I have actually several questions.
Oh wow!
And I think easy on me.
The rooftop greenery. The prior question, the rooftop greenery, like they do in Europe and the US. They put the rooftop, they put like a greenhouse there.
Correct.
So I have few questions of my own though. The building faces the part of the building is Manila Gulf. Yes. The other part is inside Fort Bonifacio. Is it like Pacific Plaza that each unit has both sides, or you buy the is it golf course side or Bonifacio side, or each unit has actually both sides like Pacific Plaza?
So Miss Marit, we have a unit. Actually, I'm here right now in the biggest 3-bedroom we have. So the 3-bedroom deluxe actually has, I think, around 180-degree view. So you can have a view of the golf course while having a view of the east. So it's facing the other big unit is facing BGC and also east. So you can have one or two views with the signature, the 3-bedroom signature. But all other 3 bedrooms, of course, it's you're either facing the city, but of course, a portion of your bedroom might be facing the golf course. So there are corners, but not necessarily like the whole, the whole unit.
So you either buy the golf course sides or the city side.
Yes. We have a unit that has city side, but on the master bedroom, you have the golf side. So, but the ones facing the golf course are a mixture of the golf course and towards Laguna Bay area.
Yeah. I have my last question is: would you put up they're so popular now? Everybody has like a toy dog or small dogs. Would you have a kind of a dog park?
That's actually in the plan. So, but of course, I cannot just guarantee right now because everything is in the works. So we actually have a planned dedicated pet garden. Yes.
So you don't mix children and pets.
Yeah. So I will see that through. I would really suggest that they make that into fruition,
Yes. Some pets are children to someone.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Mia, can you hear me now?
I hear Nikki Menchaca.
Can you hear me now?
Raising her hand. Hi, Nikki.
Hi. Sorry, I've had a few technical problems here.
No, you're fine.
Can you hear me now?
I love your mom, please.
Thank you.
Please feel free to ask your question.
Yes, my question is, obviously, I've had a look at the brochure and it looks amazing. It looks like an amazing property. Who are the designers and the architects behind this project?
Yeah, so our tower architecture is by Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. So they're a Chicago-based firm, and they're actually known to design the Burj Khalifa, just one of which. So they're very known worldwide and multi-awarded. So they did our architecture. On the other hand, other side of it, the interior decoration is thoughtfully styled by FM, Architettura di Interni. So they're an Italian-based firm, and actually they're famous for designing the papal residence. would you believe? So they are our designers. So, and they also designed a lot of hotels and luxury yachts worldwide. So they're very known for that, and they're multi-awarded for designing billion-dollar yachts, actually. Yeah. So in terms of luxury, we have the best designers on board.
Yeah, no, it looks amazing.
Yes, and hopefully I could invite you, Miss Butch, here.
Oh, sorry, I hopped onto my husband's laptop, so I apologize for all my. I've got my husband's name. I couldn't unmute it.
That's funny, Mrs. Menchaca. I'm sorry.
So I apologize for that.
So I hope you could come over here and then we could, talk about the project more. Of course, it's very safe here. I'm just here alone. So let me know and you can.
That would be lovely.
Call me. Yeah.
That would be a lovely opportunity.
Yeah. So I think thank you so much for all the questions. It looks like we have a lot of interesting questions coming up. So maybe Nicole, later in the program, we can ask everyone to bring up their questions again. But I know we promised everyone we'd keep the webinar within an hour because we know how busy you all are. So Nicole, maybe you can just invite them to also come and see the property at some point, right? They can get in touch with you anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, should you wish to view the Aurelia Residences show suite, you may contact Nicole or you can text me and I'll put you in touch because I think there's nothing like seeing the model unit in person.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you. So our model unit is just across Pacific Plaza, actually. So it's very accessible. Thanks, Mia.
Thank you. Perfect for you, Marit, since you're such a passionate golf player. Marit spends most of her days in Manila Golf. So it's actually a hop, skip, and a jump away. So now I think it's time to get to the topic of the afternoon. And I'd like to introduce our first panelist. Her name is JB Wong, otherwise known as Joy. Joy is the founder of W Botanica, and she's a very passionate plant parenting advocate. She actually has many roles, but I'd like to invite Joy to now come on board. And Joy, please tell everyone about your passion for plants and how this all began.
Hi, Mia. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you to our Aurelia Residences team and the tech team. It is my joy and honor to be here today. I find it very amusing just listening to your chit chats before we started on board. So hi, everybody. Thank you for your time. Mia requested me to share also the passion that I have, which is she did mention the W Botanica story. And the purpose that I have for this passion project is we nurture nature one pot at a time. I shared with Mia that you don't need an entire garden or an entire hacienda to be a legit plantita or plantito. It only would take you one pot of plant and let the passion start from there. Right?
That's such an amazing thought, and it's really true. So you can tell us exactly, Joy, what are the multiple roles you've played, and how did that lead into your discovering and establishing W Botanica as a plant passion project?
Plant passion project. So all of us have many roles, especially during the pandemic. We now, some of us are parents, moms, friend, community leader. For myself, on the upper left here, I started Women Supporting Women Philippines last May 28th at the height of the pandemic. So we are supporting about 2,000 women who are struggling in the pandemic. At the bottom left, I also shared with Mia that I like to do fundraising. And so I run so I can raise funds for kids born with cleft lip and palate. So this one on the bottom left, I ran for a Berlin Marathon and then raised funds on behalf of a Smile Train Foundation. On the bottom right, if I'm not doing plants or running, I work for People Ignite, a training company. And on the upper right, yay, we've been homeschooling our kids for a good 2 years now, and a great setup for the pandemic. But where we are today in the middle is as a plantita. In the middle is my passion for plants. A lot of people are asking me, when did I start loving plants? They thought that it's just because of the boom of the pandemic. But no, the real story is that about 2018, I met Jamie Blomdahl, our second speaker today, and she's the marketing manager of Catch Lifestyle. And this is exactly the photo I got from my treasure box or baul. On the right, they sell fantastic pots that's so light, all right, so light, amazing. And she'll talk about that in a short while. And then on the left side I started all through Catch guidance. So await her story as well. So I started a few years back. Yes.
So Joy, tell us a little bit more about exactly what does W stand for? It's a very intriguing name, and what exactly you do with W Botanica. What are your different plant projects?
Okay, so zooming to where we are now, back in December 5, I started W Botanica, and W stands for Wong. Very easy, my family name. and then Botanica with the letter K being Pinoy or Filipino means botanicals or botany or the study of plants. So Mia, honestly, I started with just one pot of plant. It grew to 20 species. There was a time, Mia, that I had more than 100 species at home.
Wow, that's amazing. So, and how many species do you have now, by the way?
Well, definitely less than 100. My kids said, Mom, I think our house is better without so much plants.
Tell us a little bit about the concept of plant parenting and why that's such a passion for you. I know for you, your plants are almost like children. They each have a personality. They're also unique. Tell us about that. What is the sort of purpose of parenting a plant?
Thanks, Mia. The pandemic is personally difficult for me. It has been a roller coaster ride with everything that is happening. The reason why I decided to really nurture plant is because they are very therapeutic to me. And so in the process of finding therapy in plants, I decided to go on plant tours. When I shared this with Mia, Mia got amused that I do plant tours, meaning I go around and shop for plants for friends and for people who like to buy or find rare plants. So on the left is an example of a plant tour. Go ahead, Mia.
No, sorry, I was just going to say, I know it's so amazing that I call you like a private plant shopper. You know how people have personal shoppers sometimes, but
Yes.
It's the first time I've heard of someone shopping for plants. And maybe you can tell our audience, in case when there's no more pandemic, they're interested to go on a plant tour with you or to have you look for plants, that's something you actually offer.
Yes, not only that I offer it because we collect, we nurture, and we sell, but it is a passion for me to go around. It's very therapeutic. The one in the middle, Mia, is an example of how I put together a plant gift. So if someone orders or asks me for any plant, I can put together a plant gift for you. So this is my source of joy during the pandemic. And also, Mia and I were discussing how important it is to make sure, just a tip, guys, if you're buying plants from suppliers, make sure you know them, make sure they are legit, and make sure you know that they nurture the roots and that they care for the plant. There had been many instances you buy online, you don't know your supplier. Di ba, Mia? What happens is, in a week, the plant is dying and you get traumatized only to find out that you may not have bought from a credible or a supplier of integrity. So just
Yeah,
making
that's a
sure.
very good
Yes.
tip. Thank you for that, Joy. And I know that you also shared that during the pandemic, how many pots did you start with at W Botanica, and how many did you end up selling or for a cause you gave to
Yes.
frontliners?
Yep. So it's a combination of I give them as gifts, or people buy from me, or we do it for an advocacy. So from December 5, 2020 to January 2021, I counted the potted plants, and we were able to now accumulate all the way to 1,700 potted plants delivered now nationwide to different plant parents. It is a source of joy to let people know that it is easy to take care of plants. Jamie, the second speaker, and I believe that no one really has a black thumb. Everyone can have a green thumb. Yes. Mia, this is an example of the 1,000 plus lucky bamboos we delivered to frontliners and doctors.
That's
Yes.
wonderful.
Really important. Plants are important during the pandemic.
And they are so therapeutic. I mean, I myself, speaking from my experience, I spend so much time in the garden, and it's been such a source really of joy and inspiration. I really look forward in the morning to waking up and going out and being in the sunlight. And I think that's what we're trying to remind everyone today, of the beauty of connecting with the earth, and how that really creates a very peaceful environment for all our homes. So Joy, I think one thing that really impressed me with your personal plant journey is how you then turned that passion into like a very good cause, and you have an advocacy. I know about it, but I'd love for you to share how you're helping someone in need of help through your plants.
All right. Thanks, Mia, for giving me this opportunity, and to Aurelia residences. So meet Nanay Lily. She's 74 years old and recently diagnosed with double breast cancer. And after a major surgery, she's going through chemotherapy sessions because she is passionate of taking care of plants. So we both decided, and her entire family decided, that if I can nurture some of her plants and then present it as a fundraising activity. And she said yes.
Yes.
So that
And
she
so,
can continue the chemotherapy sessions.
yeah, and anytime later on, of course, our guests can find out more details, but I'd love for you to share that, because who knows, throughout the afternoon or after today, I can send them information just in case someone feels like supporting this worthy cause. And it's such a beautiful story, because it's like, just as plants give to us, we can give back through plants.
That's right. And Mia, thank you for choosing one among the many potted plants of Nanay
Of
Lily.
course,
All right?
I already had first dibs earlier.
First dibs, all right? Our model plant. All right, so I've shown you some plants, and at this point, this is now the collection for this event. You can take a screenshot, right, Mia? They can just take a screenshot.
Of course, yes, everyone's welcome to take a screenshot, and as the afternoon goes on, or in the next few days, should any of the plants speak to you, we invite you to support this worthy advocacy of Nanay Lily, should it be something that speaks to your heart, right, Joy?
Right. Yes, and it's important for us to mention that all of these are unique potted plants. Only Lily Pot 8 and has a few stocks right there, right? And Lily Pot 7 and 8. The rest are unique already. All right. So thank you guys for doing that. And as we end, this is important for me to share with you. Tips for
Joy, 1 second, because I know there's going to be a trivia question coming up. So
okay.
I want to ask you, what are your most important tips for having a successful plant passion project.
All right, thanks, Mia. And so, given that, we have our little way, unique way of taking care of our plants. And so, I shared with Mia and the rest of our team here that number one, never underestimate the power of your passion. So, again, just one potted plant. If you think that you are not ready yet to take care of a lot of plants, one is good. Keep the passion alive. The second one, Mia, and this is for everyone also, is preparation. So make sure that you have basic gardening tools, you have soil, you know how to kind of pot. Propagation is an advanced level, but never underestimate the power of your preparation. All right? And the last one is persistence. So I will tell you, I experienced a lot of dying plants under my care. A lot of plants died under my care. Before I was traumatized, but right now I take it as life lessons and a cycle of life. So persistence or CPAG, hard work, dedication, these are the 3 P's: passion, preparation, and persistence as my tips. Back to you, Mia.
Oh, that's such a beautiful story, inspiring story. Thank you so much, Joy, for sharing that with us today. And thank you also for sharing your advocacy. That was a very inspiring insight into how just one pot at a time, we can all do our share to help nurture our environment and care for the earth. And that's something that is so hugely important and that has become a big focus during this pandemic. So now maybe before we go on to the next speaker, I'd like to invite Nicole back, and maybe we saw that overview earlier. Nicole, let's bring them to a very quick walkthrough of the actual show suite residence of Aurelia. And ladies and gentlemen, this is very interesting because we're going to walk you through the property and show you a closer glimpse of some of the living spaces. But later on, our next plant lady will actually give tips on what specific plants work best in those kind of areas.
Hi, yes, thanks, Mia. So I'm back. So I'm sure, you'll be using this as a backdrop to suggest plans. So this is our actual 3-bedroom signature model unit in the show plat. So all of the units would have a private lift lobby, as you can see. So it would open up to your living space. There.
Oh, I love how the windows are all floor to ceiling, and you have amazing views of nature.
Your living room and dining is seamlessly opening up to your veranda, so it's really nice.
Wow, what a view! It's like you can touch the sky. It seems like you can bring the outdoors in, no?
So we have these little nooks where you can lounge and, entertain guests, put a breakfast table outside your veranda. So I'm excited to know what plants would fit the family kitchen too. So we can order for our show flat actually.
Those spaces look so huge. Nicole, tell us a little bit about the cots. I mean, what's an average size of a model unit such as this one?
So this one is around 339 square meters, but we do have other 3-bedroom units ranging from 240. We also have a 280, so different types of 3 bedrooms, but this is the biggest one, at least for the typical unit.
Very generous space. Wow. So they have. Do all units have these views of, like, I see the views of maybe that's Bonifacio or the golf course and the whole vista, or like if you're in the ground floor, do you have a garden view, or how does it work?
Yeah, so depending on what type of unit and what what view that would be facing. So we have a view of the golf course, we have the Bonifacio Global City, we also have a view of Laguna Bay. But of course, on the lower floors, you could have a view of the amenities as well. So it really depends on the floor level of your unit.
So before, let's ask again, maybe we can show tech team, can we show the slides very quickly they've seen the walkthrough. Maybe just a few select slides of the living spaces. And at this point, I do recall that there were some ladies who had their hands raised earlier. Would you like to ask the question while we're showing some of the spaces? Was there anyone else? Did I see Marjorie? I believe I saw Marjorie Torres earlier with a raised hand. Are you still there, Marjorie?
Yeah. I had a question regarding the development timeline. I understand that the foundation is placed, but what is the timeline until surrender of the units?
Yeah, thanks, Marjorie. So we actually just launched last year, September of 2019. So our project is very young, still very young. So we expect maybe around 4 to 5 years for it to be fully developed. So that's why we have, stretched terms until now, because the project is really at its, we are still very young.
Okay, and a follow-up, if I may. Are you thinking about having more of a concierge staff as well for the whole building?
Yes, at the ground floor. So we have 2 dedicated reception desks that would by concierge, if I may ask, what
a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more like a hotel type of concierge.
Oh, okay. We don't know yet what the condo corp will set up, but basically we would have a 24/7 concierge. But in terms of what services they might offer, we still don't know yet as of this moment. But of course, they would be there 24/7 to help you. But we don't know yet if we're going to have a partnership with Shang. So, but of course, it's very possible, and we're very open to that. So we'll know later on in the coming years. So we'll update you.
Thank you so much, Marjorie, for those questions. And before we invite our next speaker, Jamie, I think they've gotten a really good glimpse of those rooms through the virtual tour. Nicole, can we go ahead and invite our next speaker? Because I'm afraid that we're running out of the 1 hour time limit.
Yes.
I'd like to now call on our second speaker, Jamie Blomdahl. She's the resident plant lady and marketing manager of Catch Lifestyle and Garden. Catch is a store that specializes in 100% sustainable planters brought in from the Netherlands and tropical plants to go with them. So I'd like to now introduce Jamie Blomdahl of Catch. Hello, Jamie.
Hiya.
Thanks for joining us. So I know everyone has now gotten a view of the showroom suite, and you have this really interesting presentation in showing, and that can of course be applied to anyone's home, how you select the plants that go, whether they're in a space by the window or a bedroom or a kitchen. So we'd love to hear more about that, please.
Yeah, of course. So I'll dive right in. I'm Jamie, and I'm one of the resident plant ladies over at Catch. If you've never been to one of our stores, we've been around since 2017. So we carry plants, planters, gardening accessories. So yeah, what makes us different are the brands that we carry. So like what Mia mentioned, these are game changers in the Philippine market. We've handpicked them among the best planter brands in Europe. So like, for example, this one is Cappy Europe. I can carry everything with one hand, which is very, very different from the terracotta and cement or ceramic planters that you can see. And like what she mentioned, they're so sustainable. Like, for example, our other brand, Elo, everything is made 100% wind powered, using their own windmill right outside their office. So a little bit more colorful, playful. So yeah.
That's amazing. So they're all really featherweight, right, Jamie? So even if you have a big plant for like a tree, you can literally carry it with one hand. Is that accurate?
Yes. So every time we do shoots for Catch, I carry all of the planters. We don't need assistance. Yes. So when it comes to caring for your plants, like what Joy said, it's very important that you know where your plants come from. And the same thing, I know someone was asking about soil earlier. So the great thing about this is that for indoor plants, for example, personally for Catch, we try to use cocoa peat mixed with cocoa cubes, depending on the plants. This is great, one, because we are a tropical country. So coconuts are actually very, very abundant here. And cocoa peat or cocoa cubes are also great because it's less likely that you will have pests. So it also holds the right amount of moisture. So which means that it won't waterlog, it will drain properly, as long as you have a hole underneath your planter. So I hope that answers the question earlier about soil.
Marit, is that an answer to your question? Do you have a follow-up to that?
Yes, no, that was perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Jamie. Sorry to interrupt. Please go on.
No problem. Another tip that I have, if you have a garden or a balcony where you can collect rainwater, this is actually the most natural and the most nutrient-dense water for your plants. So if you can put a couple of containers outside when it's the rainy season, that would be perfect. If not, if you live in an apartment like I do, then you can simply fill your watering can or any container, leave it out for 24 hours overnight. And this ensures that the chlorine in your water has mostly evaporated. So try to remember that. And then another tip, if there's something that you'll remember, my best tip actually is to, when you're choosing plants, if you want plants in your space, the best thing is to actually choose the space where you would like to place your plants before buying the plant. Because sometimes what people do is they find nice plants online, or they find a nice plant in the garden center. They bring it home. They're not really sure where to put it, and then it dies. But like what Joy said, we don't really believe in black thumbs. There is a plant for everyone. There is a plant for every space. So we'll go through the different areas of the Aurelia places as well. I have some screenshots here of how they can look like. So for direct light, these can be trees, they can be your flowering plants. So anything that is okay to be hit directly by your sun's rays. So I'm sure a lot of you have gardens as well, and you would know that they thrive, these outdoor plants, when they're in direct sunlight. And this could be, for example, out in the balcony, because at a certain time, the sun will hit these plants. And for example, the fiddle leaf fig, a very popular plant, really thrives with a lot of light. So you can have this in your balcony in Aurelia. And then we have bright indirect light. These are areas right beside the window. Maybe you have sheer curtains or blinds. And this is the sweet spot for most indoor plants. So if you have a lot of these areas, maybe floor to ceiling windows, you should put a lot of your plants here, because they will really thank you for it. They will grow a lot during the growing months of the summer. Yeah, so this is definitely one of those places where you want to put a lot of your plants.
Jamie, sorry, there's a question in the chat box with regards to the direct light that you were speaking about earlier. Are the quality of the pots from the Netherlands able to withstand the tropical sun? Because of course our sun is, really way stronger than that in Europe. Could you answer Mr. Christopher Uy about that?
Yes, so it works both ways. For example, the planters, for them, it's UV resistant in a sense that it's also frost resistant for them. And for us, where it's, very, very harsh light, very, very hot, it's also insulated so that it stays cool. So unlike, for example, terracotta planters that can absorb all of the water almost once you you water it, for these planters, it won't do the same. It won't crack. It won't. So there's a lot of different benefits as well for these planters.
And so there's a further question. They don't fade then if they're exposed to the sun, say in the balcony or out right by the pool. You guarantee
that is correct. Yes. So for these planters specifically, they're not painted. So they're the raw material. It's in the raw material, the pigment. So as it's made, rotation molding. So we visited all of their plants. It's rotation molding, so the color is already within that raw material, so it won't fade.
So these have a guaranteed lifetime, right? And to answer,
yes. To answer everyone, it's a 10-year warranty. We've had so many happy customers throughout the years. So yeah, definitely. All right. Moving on for another area of light. So for example, in this area, it's a little bit further away from the window. And what happens is, if you'll notice, if you have plants in certain areas, they sort of tend to go towards the direction of the sun. And if you see that, it might be time to rotate them or even place them a little closer to where the natural light is. And because they're so lightweight, It is easy to move it around. You don't need a lot of help to move it around. You can move it maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks just to get enough sunlight.
That's really the advantage of these slide bags. Could we put the slide back? Jamie, I just want to point out to everyone, because we went through the virtual walkthrough several times, and I know some people were messaging that they had a time limit and they would go soon. So I didn't want them to miss your talk. But just to point out that this is the very generously spaced living area of an Aurelia Residences unit. And so, Jamie, what are those specific plants, for example, that you would recommend by the window? Are those ferns, or are they silom? Could you give some tips also on the choice of plants?
Yeah, so a lot of like philodendrons, dracaenas, or even ferns can work well as long as there's no direct draft from the air condition hitting them. But there are a lot of different indoor plants. The best thing that we can do is for catch, actually, just message us, and we design spaces as well. So if they show us, an area where they would like plants, we do a thorough questioning as well of where the light is, where the air condition is, and that way we can customize the experience for you and the plants for you.
Oh, so specifically, Jamie, maybe you can share a little bit about that. So part of what Catch Lifestyle offers is a service where you can do a consultancy. Like if anyone's interested, you can go to their home or their condo, and you can actually suggest where to put plants, which ones go, and the right way to style them together. Is that correct?
Yes. So we've done it for offices, resorts, residential areas. So they can just message us, and our team with our horticulturists will be able to customize that for them.
Great. So let's move on to the next living space. So there I see
even bathrooms, you can place plants. So like in this kitchen, it's a bit further away from the light, but again, you can just move it maybe once a month to get some ample light. So it's just a way to add greens to every space that you have in your home. And Mia, I hope you don't mind, but I just want to announce to our guests that we have an exclusive catalog of items that we've curated just for you, including plants and planters from Catch. So again, these planters are so lightweight. They are insulated, fracture resistant. You can throw them, nothing will happen to them.
And I guess I see these are some maybe real outdoor areas, resorts or seaside areas. So I guess that answers the earlier questions about the durability as well, right?
Yes. So 10-year guarantee, the colors don't fade. So we also we have extra large planters. So if they want to design entrances or something like that, we can do that for them as well. So, and that's just for you guys. So it's a special discounted rate from Catch to you, just to help you create your green spaces wherever you are.
So we'll definitely be sending that e-catalog also to our guests after the webinar in case anyone is interested.
Yes. And like what you mentioned, Nia, we do landscaping as well. If they need help, if you guys have any questions, feel free. It doesn't even have to be a plant from Catch. You can just ask us on Instagram or Facebook, or my personal contact details will be there as well. So don't be shy to ask us.
That's so kind, Jamie, that you're generously offering your advice, and that Jamie sincerely means it. Later on, in the e-catalog, all her details, her email and contact numbers there. So even if you're not interested in purchasing a planter, 100% sustainable planter or a plant, Jamie is happy to answer you on any of those.
Yes, please do contact me. And just some final tips when it comes to styling. I know a lot of us like designing symmetrical things, so it's very common for entrances. But even combining, maybe a tall tree with a shorter cacti or cactus would be also great for styling entryways. It's a great conversation piece. It gives it a little bit more character. We also love working with clusters, whether it's, really, really big clusters or small for centerpiece ideas. This is a great way to add depth to your arrangement. And don't be afraid to mix textures. Usually, a lot of people, some customers, they just would like to have everything a certain color, but that doesn't mean that you can't experiment with certain textures. So the planters are also made with polyethylene and wood fibers, which means that it works well outdoors, indoors, because it looks so natural anywhere you put it. So don't be afraid to mix textures. And if you lack floor space, we suggest, being creative when it comes to how you want to decorate with your plants. It can be balcony planters, hanging planters, plant stands. So there are great ways of how you can design your patio. And even just a centerpiece. We love using bowls. We love combining different plants, or even using a really, really big fern as a statement piece, right there in your coffee table. So yeah, so that's it for Catch. If you have any questions, please do just message, or you may ask it here. So thank you, Mia.
Before we go, I'd like to ask if is Marie Chris Bernardino of Shang Properties here? I know she was going to possibly stay on. I'm not sure if you're still here, Marie Chris or Nicole. Would you like to give any parting words to our guest today?
Oh yeah, I think she's not. She was here a while ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole. Would you like to say anything to our guests before they go?
Yeah, so I just want to thank everyone. So I know it was short and sweet, but really fun. So I just want to invite everyone, if you want to visit or take a peek into Aurelia, so we can block off a private viewing for each and every one of you. So my card is just in the boxes delivered to everyone. So if you have, questions, you can just call me or call Mia. So thank you. Thank
you so much to Aurelia Residences and Shang Properties, of course, for being our virtual host. We hope everyone.
Mia, I'm here also. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Marites, I'm so sorry. Please, I'd love for you to just say a few words to our guests and all those who made time to spend part of their day to celebrate Earth Day month with us.
Yes, first and foremost, of course, we'd love to thank our panelists for Jamie and Joy for joining us, for sharing really the knowledge with all of us here, budding plantitas. Okay, so
exactly.
But really, we'd like to thank you, and for all our guests in Aurelia, thank you so much for giving us, this afternoon. I know this is, time off your wonderful schedules today, but thank you so much for joining us. And we hope we'll have more of this with you, Mia, and for everyone, because the past few sessions we've had with Mia have been excellent, really, in sharing a lot of the things that we take for granted, whether it be giving gifts, making the process easier for us to go shopping online. And even now with this plant seminar webinars you give us, it's all wonderful. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Yes, and
thank
we're
you
so
so
happy
much,
to be your
Marie-Chris.
partner.
And I'd like to, I mean, really, and of course, invite everyone to visit your property. And we hope when the pandemic's over, we can have a live event there, right?
Yes, more fun. Yes, it will be really good, especially with all of you at, Mia on tow, with all your antiques that are all fun. We'd love to host you guys in our show suite one day.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
So again, thank you so much, Marie-Chris and Nicole from Aurelia Residences. We hope everyone enjoyed the goodies. Thank you so much to Joy Wong of
Jamie and Joy. Thank you.
And Jamie Blomdahl. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still here and you want to unmute and greet anyone or say hi, we'd love to hear from you. But
thank you, everyone.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Really great.
Bye, Chris. See you on IG.
Thank you, Marit. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So thank you again to everyone. And please make Earth Day every day.